People be weird.
So, a 700-year-old sword was just found in this cave on somebody's property, and it's believed that it may be linked to the Templar Knights. The entrance to the cave was found in a small woodland area on the private lot of a mansion. If you don't know, the Templar Knights were arrested and tortured into a confession before being burned at the stake in 1312. And the sword that was found in this area is dated back to around that same time. Now, some people believe this cave actually has no connection at all to the Templar Knights, but that its purpose is much more sinister. Some are saying that it may have a connection to black magic rituals and sacrifices. Either way, I cannot imagine finding something like this on my property.
Dude, I'd be living there.
Yeah.
It's so freaking hot in this house. I'll go underground.
Right.
I don't
How
care
would
if
you
there's
like to just be
people.
like weeds are overgrown and you're just mowing and then you're like, there's this hole. Let's see what this hole goes to.
Well, you see, okay, once I'm in there, I'm cool. It's getting in there that's the problem. And it comes back to all the, like, Descent movies. Like, I've watched too many
I love
of
those movies. Yeah.
Oh, so creepy. And you know what's funny?
I would be fine.
Oh, I would be done. I thought the Descent, I think it's 2, is actually way creepier than Descent 1. Descent 1 is super creepy. Don't get me wrong. If you haven't seen Descent and you're a fan of horror movies, it's also a thriller, but I think I don't know.
Yeah.
They call it a horror film, but a lot of people would be like, oh, it's not gross enough for a true horror film because everything's Evil Dead-ish. You know what I mean? Like, if you do not have blood and gore everywhere, then you're not doing it right. And that movie does have blood and gore, don't get me wrong.
It does. But
the first movie is creepy, but the second movie takes it to the next level. Like when, spoiler alert, everybody, earmuffs. When that girl comes out to report it to the cop, and the cop's like, oh, I know. I was like, what? Was not expecting that.
Hey, baby, what's going on?
And it happened early, if I remember correctly, in Descent 2. It was like the first scene almost.
Right.
Like she comes out, she's like, I survived. And the guy's like, for now, wait for another 20 minutes and you're probably not going to be alive anymore.
Right.
But again, that reminds me of Hostel as well. Like the first Hostel film is 2 films in one. It's basically like Spring Break Part 14 for the first half of the film.
Yeah. I love that movie.
And then Nightmare Torture Film for the second half of the film.
It's great. We won't talk about Hostel 2 because that movie just was not good.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I think there's another one like that. It's like, I want to say Chucky 2. No. Leprechaun 2. Leprechaun 2, I think, is supposed to be the worst horror movie of all time.
Really? It wasn't Leprechaun in Space? Or Leprechaun in the Hood?
No, well, you see, the thing is that Leprechaun 2, they did something that really made everybody go, like, Leprechaun in Space at least followed something. I don't know. I just remember reading something
Jason
about it.
X, where they're like, we froze his body and now he's on a spaceship and he breaks out and Yeah.
But I mean, come on. What 80s and 90s, late 80s, early 90s horror films were really reaching for stuff, dude. They were reaching. They had nothing to find. Like
Event Horizon was great.
Event Horizon is great. And what is funny about that movie, that's not a horror film, though. That is a sci-fi thriller.
Yes, I guess. Yes.
Technically.
Yeah, but it was definitely one of the most scariest movies I've ever seen as a kid.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, you entered the gates of hell, and it's like, oh my God. Like, oh no.
It's funny because I have friends that do a lot of tabletop gaming. So there's a game called Warhammer 40K. And in Warhammer 40K, there's Chaos Marines. I think it's Chaos Marines. But literally, the way that they happen is exactly what happens in Event Horizon. So if you take like a wormhole, but you forget to put your shields up, you basically will go through like a dark matter space. I think that's right. I haven't played the game and I don't actually know.
Do you know Event Horizon streaming numbers has gone up since Thor Love and Thunder?
Oh, well, I haven't seen Thor yet. So you can spoil it if you want.
Well, Natalie Portman
is
explaining what wormholes are.
Yes.
And she's like, have you ever seen the movie Event Horizon? Because that explains it perfect.
Right. Well,
and ever since then, the numbers have gone up
through the roof. It's a great film. Okay, so let me rephrase. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. It's not a
Ooh.
9 or a 10 out of 10 for
Oh.
me. And
For
the only
me,
reason I
it's
say
a
that,
10 out
there's
of 10.
certain things in that film that I'm like, I probably would have done that different, or not as bad as it possibly could be. You'd go with what, a 9 out of 10?
No, I'd go 10.
10? Okay.
That's in like my top 10 movies of all
There
time.
you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
the other thing I was going to say, because you brought it up, is what I call retro flashbacks. If I hear the Metallica song one more time, played on guitar because of Stranger Things, I haven't even watched Stranger Things yet, and I already know all about it because I guess he
Yep.
plays Metallica
Yeah.
on guitar.
Shh. I haven't seen the last 2 episodes, so shh.
Okay, Kate Bush. That's the other one. You should know
Kate
about
Bush.
Kate Bush.
Yeah, I know
mean,
Kate Bush. Yeah.
well, no. I'm just saying, like, I knew Kate Bush
Running up
before
the
Stranger
hill.
Things.
Yeah.
But now that Stranger Things had it on, like, everybody's finding her again for the first time. Like, she didn't exist before. So.